Hello, my name's Aviva, and today I wanted to share with you all of the books that I'm hoping to read in January. So I'm not very good at actually sticking to my TBRs, but I love making them. I'm a mood reader, which means that at the end of the day, I'm gonna pick up whatever book I'm in the mood of at that very moment. But I am able to somewhat guess what I'm going to be in the mood of just because books tend to call out to me, and the books that I'm going to share with you today seem to be the ones that are calling out to me more than all of my other ones on my physical TBR. So I'm going to share with you the books that I think I might read in January, but honestly, I have no idea if I'm going to end up picking these up or not. Before I get into the books though, if you're not currently subscribed to my channel, if you can please hit that subscribe button. Also give this video a like because it really helps out me and my channel. But anyway, the first book that I wanted to share with you is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. So I actually put this on my December TBR because I've been saving this book to read in the winter time because I just feel like it's giving off winter vibes. I don't really know much about it other than the fact that it is about ice skaters. Like I'm pretty sure the characters are professional ice skaters. Either they're both ice skaters and they're going to be like set up to be partners, or one's a coach and one's just a skater. I really don't know what the dynamics are, but I am very into figure skating. Like I really enjoy watching like figure skating movies, and like when the Olympics come on, I like seeing those sort of stuff. So I'm very excited to read this book, and I'm almost positive it is like somewhat of an enemies to lovers. Mariana Zapata though is known for her extremely slow burn romances. Like you really have to have patience before you get into one of her books, because if not, then you're not going to enjoy it. So I've been pushing this book off a little bit because I'm not so down for the slow burn at the moment, but I really want to read this book before the winter is over because I just feel like it's the right time to read it. So I didn't end up getting to it in December, but hopefully I will get to it in January. Next, I have Whatever It Takes and then Wherever You Are by Kristen Becker-Ritchie. So these were actually on my December TBR also, and then I didn't end up reading them in December, but only because I wasn't in the mood to jump back into the Addicted Calloway world. I was very invested in the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series when I read it, and I was kind of hoping to pick these two up before it got a little bit too far away from reading the original 10 books. And then once I got out of it, I realized I kind of do want to take a break and then jump back into the world when I'm like missing it too much and I just want to be back in that universe and stuff. So I didn't end up reading it in December, but I'm hoping that I do maybe get to it in January. Like I have a lot more books I could read from this universe. This is about Willow and Garrett, who we met at the end of the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series. Like these characters came in later in the books and now they're going to get their own romance, and I'm very excited to read it, but I want to read it at the right time when like I really need to like be with those characters again sort of vibe. So I'm pushing it off until that mood hits me, but I'm hoping that it will hit me in January. I'd also like to read Wrecked by Lauren Asher, which is the third book in the Dirty Air series, which is a race car driving romance companion series. So I read the first two books, I don't even remember when, but sometime in 2021, and I thoroughly enjoyed them, but they have a little bit of overlapping going on. Like you read the first book and then in the second book, you kind of see a lot of the same stuff that you saw in the first book because, you saw side romances going on, and then like it kind of redoubled up, whatever you want to say, in book 2. And I kind of felt it to be slightly repetitive, and I kind of saw the same thing was going to happen for book 3. So I decided to push it off a little bit so that it doesn't feel too much like I just read these scenes sort of thing. And honestly, it might not happen in this book, but just in case it does, I decided to push it off for a little bit, and then I kind of forgot about it, and now it's been a little bit too long. So I'm hoping that I jump back into this world before I decide to like just never continue with it, because I have heard that the third and the fourth book in this series are most people's favorite, and I'm still a huge fan of this series, even though book 2 I wasn't so much in love with because of its repetitiveness. But basically, my point is that I would very much love to jump back into this race car driving universe. So hopefully I'll pick up book 3 in January. Next, I'm hoping I might end up picking up Hooked by Emily McIntyre. So this is a dark and twisted romance that is a Peter Pan retelling. I could be wrong about this, but what I've heard from other people's reviews is that this isn't like magical or anything. It just takes like Peter Pan like vibes, and then like, it made a dark and twisted romance. And it's basically about Peter Peter, who is a corrupt businessman of sorts. I don't really know, but anyway, he has a daughter who's going to end up having a romance with Hook, because I don't know what Peter did to Hook, but for some reason Hook hates Peter. I'm sure that it had to do with some like business sort of thing. But anyway, Hook wants to get revenge on Peter, so he ends up seducing Peter's daughter. So then they're going to have a dark and twisted romance. So I don't really know much about it. I've heard some mixed reviews, and then I've also heard some really good reviews. So I'm excited to check it out for myself and see what I think about it, because at the moment I'm not really sure if this is going to end up being a book that I'm going to enjoy or not, but I am a huge fan of Peter Pan in general. It's my favorite like Disney movie, Disney book, whatever you want to call it. So I am excited to see a dark and twisted romance version of the story. Next, I have Voyeur by Fiona Cole, which I actually just got in the mail the other day, and I am really excited to read it. I haven't seen it around much, but the few times that it came up on my feed, I saw such good things about it. So I'm very excited to check it out, also because this is the first book in a companion series. So if I like this, then I could go ahead and read a whole series, based off of the same vibe. So all I know about this book is that it is an age gap romance. I'm pretty sure it's a little bit dark and twisted, or just really steamy. I'm not sure, but it definitely lands in like, the more intense side of romance books. But all I know about it is that it's about this girl who works at this sex club of sorts, where it's like a one-way mirror sort of thing. I don't know if she like just dances, or I don't know, she does something, but basically there's people who like come to the club and can watch her, and like she doesn't know who's watching her sort of thing. And anyway, the guy actually comes to the club, obviously watches her, likes her from, a one-sided sort of way, and then, they're both in class or something, and he ends up being her teacher. I don't know if it's high school or if it's college, I'm not really sure, but basically it's an age gap romance, and he's her teacher, and also she works at a sex club that he attends. So it sounds really good, and I am very excited to see if I'm going to end up liking it or not. Next, I have Bound by Honor by Cora Riley, which I recently got in the mail also, and I am very excited to check out. So it is a mafia arranged marriage romance, which I'm a huge fan of. That is one of my favorite tropes in the mafia niche. So I'm very excited to read this, but also I've heard really good things about Cora Riley in general. She writes a ton of romances. She has a lot of series out there, and I'm really excited to check out her work, because if I end up liking this book and the way that she writes and everything like that, then I can start like backlogging her stuff. And I know that she has so much work that a lot of people love. Like I've seen multiple series by her that people love to rave about. Like it's not just this one. I just randomly chose this one as my first book by her. But basically, I would love to work down her backlog. So I'm really crossing my fingers that I like this one, because if I do, then I have a lot of books ahead of me that I could read. Next, I'm really hoping to start the Dark Verse series by Runnix. So I think this is a mafia series, but I'm not sure, and I'm almost positive it is somewhat of a companion series. So I currently own the first 3 books, and the 4th book is coming out very soon. I'm pretty sure it's coming out sometime in January, or it already came out, or I have no idea. But basically, the 4th one is on its way of coming out, and therefore I want to get started on the series so that hopefully I could read that, right around its release date sort of thing. My point is that I'm not really sure how this series is laid out. I have heard that the first 2 books in the series follow the same romance, and then you move on to the 3rd book, and then it's following a different romance of people that you met in the first 2 books. And then I really don't know where the 4th book lands, if you're going to be following the 2nd romance also, or if you're going to move on. I'm really not sure what the layout is, but basically I've heard good things. I'm a huge fan of these covers. Like it's one of the big reasons why I noticed this book originally. Like the cover is absolutely gorgeous, but I also think that the stuff inside of it is pretty solid too. So basically I would like to get started on this series this month. I also have Teardrop Shot by Tijan, which I would like to read this month. We'll see if it ends up happening. All I know about it is that it is some sort of basketball romance. I bet that it takes place in college, but honestly, I might be wrong about that. But I really don't know much about it. I have read one book by Tijan before. It was called Enemies, and it was a football romance, and I was a huge fan of it. I absolutely loved it. So I would like to read more of her work, and I've decided that this is going to be the next one that I read by her. So I don't know if I'll get to it this month, but I would like to. We'll see if a basketball sports romance mood sort of hits me, And the last book that I'm going to share with you is The Heir by Sophie Lark. So this is the first book in the Kingmaker series, which is a spin-off series from the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Lark, which is, a mafia companion romance series. So in this series, you're basically following the children from the original Brutal Birthright series as they are in some sort of mafia private school, like this private school in the middle of nowhere where everybody who's from the mafia sends their children to so that they can learn to be mafia kids of sorts. And, it's a companion series, so in each book you're going to end up following different romances between kids in the school, and supposedly it is really steamy and really good. And I've heard that people like this series more than they even like the Brutal Birthright series, and I loved the Brutal Birthright series, so I am very excited to get around to this one. I also would really like to finish up all 4 books in this series before March, because Sophie Lark recently announced that she is making a 5th book in this series. She wasn't planning on doing it, but everybody has been requesting it because, I don't know, I guess there's this couple that has been shown a little bit in the other books and people really want to see their romance. So she is going to satisfy her readers. And I'm pretty sure it's coming out in March, which means that I have to read all 4 books in this series before March so that I could be very excited for, the release and everything. So basically, I would like to get started on this series in January because I recently finished up the Brutal Birthright series, which means that I'm ready to move on to the Kingmaker series. So this is the last book that I'm going to share with you for my January TBR. But anyway, that's all I got for you. We'll see if I end up reading all of the books that I mentioned today. For all you know, I'm going to end up reading a whole handful of different books that I didn't expect to read. So we'll see what's going to happen. But anyway, let me know what's on your January TBR, or have you read any of the books that I mentioned in this video? What did you think about them? Let me know if, you liked them or not. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Also, I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video, but now that Bookmas is over, I'm going back to my normal schedule of posting every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, in the whole month of December, I was posting a video every single day, but I can't do that forever. So from now on, we're just going to be doing Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in case anybody cared about my schedule. So yeah, unless I decide to change up my schedule for some odd reason again, that is when you'll be seeing videos from me. So basically, that's all. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not currently subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button so that you can get notified when my next video comes out, even though I just told you that my next video will be out on Wednesday. But anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, enjoy reading.